When you think of Bad Chad Customs, you probably picture Chad Hiltz turning rust buckets into automotive masterpieces. But there's someone else in that shop who's been pulling strings behind the scenes, and most fans have no idea just how powerful she really is. Jolene MacIntyre isn't just the woman standing next to Chad in photos. She's not just his fiancée or his shop manager. The truth about who Jolene really is and what she's actually built might completely change how you see the entire operation. What you're about to discover will make you question everything you thought you knew about Bad Chad Customs. Here's what most people get wrong about Jolene MacIntyre. They see her on Bad Chad Customs and assume she's there because she's dating Chad. They think she's the supportive girlfriend who helps out around the shop. That couldn't be further from the truth. Jolene MacIntyre is the co-founder of Hiltz Auto Co., and according to her own Instagram bio, she's not an employee, she's a business owner. Before she ever stepped foot in Green Goblin Customs, Jolene graduated from St. Mary's University in Halifax with a Bachelor of Commerce, specializing in finance. This wasn't someone looking for a hobby or trying to support her boyfriend's dream. This was a trained business professional who saw an opportunity and seized it. While Chad had the creative vision and the hands-on skills to transform vehicles, he didn't have the business infrastructure to turn that talent into an empire. That's where Jolene came in. She took what was essentially a talented guy working out of a shop in rural Nova Scotia and systematically built it into a brand that would catch the attention of Discovery Channel producers. She didn't do this by accident. Every move was calculated, every decision strategic. When you look at the success of Bad Chad Customs today, you're not just seeing Chad's automotive genius, you're seeing Jolene's business acumen at work. And honestly, most fans have no clue just how much of the operation runs because of her decisions, not his. The way Jolene and Chad met sounds like something out of a movie, but the reality is way more interesting than the romance. Back before Bad Chad Customs was even a concept, Jolene was working as waitstaff at a pool hall in New Minas, Nova Scotia. She'd also been a supervisor at a golf resort in Centerville. These weren't dream jobs for someone with a commerce degree, but she was biding her time, figuring out her next move. Then, Chad Hiltz walked into that pool hall during the annual Rockability Weekend car show. He needed someone to put up a flyer advertising the event. He asked Jolene. That simple interaction sparked a conversation, and yeah, there was chemistry. They started dating pretty quickly after that. But here's what people miss about this story. Jolene didn't just fall for a guy with a cool job. She saw potential that nobody else was seeing. Chad was talented, no question. He could take literal garbage and turn it into award-winning custom cars. But he was operating small, local, without any real business strategy. Jolene looked at him and saw something different. She saw someone whose talent was being completely wasted because he didn't know how to market himself or scale his operation. Most people would have just enjoyed dating the local car guy. Jolene? She saw a business opportunity, and the moment she joined Green Goblin Customs, everything changed. This wasn't just a relationship. It was a partnership that would reshape both of their lives completely. Jolene had always loved cars, but she had one specific obsession. Ralph Lauren owns a 1938 Bugatti Type 57 SC Atlantic that's worth somewhere around $40 million. It's one of the most beautiful, most valuable cars ever made. Jolene was absolutely fixated on it. Most people would just admire it from afar, maybe put a poster on their wall. Jolene convinced Chad to build her a replica. Now, Chad being Chad, he didn't just build a nice tribute car. He spent over a year constructing a detailed replica using scrap materials, ingenuity, and his signature style. It was an insane project, the kind of thing that showcased exactly what he was capable of. But here's where Jolene's genius really showed. While Chad was building, Jolene was documenting. Every single step of the process, she recorded and uploaded to Facebook and Instagram. She turned the build into a serialized story that people could follow along with. This wasn't just her being excited about her car. This was a calculated social media strategy before most people even understood what that meant. She was creating content, building an audience, generating buzz. The videos and posts started getting serious traction. People were sharing them, commenting, following their pages to see updates. And eventually, those posts caught the attention of Sky Leonardi's Love Productions. That attention led directly to Discovery Channel coming calling, the show that made them famous. That happened because Jolene understood something Chad didn't. Content is currency. If you only watch Bad Chad Customs casually, you might think Jolene just manages paperwork and occasionally hands Chad a wrench. The reality is so much more complex. Before she ever touched a custom car, Jolene was a standout midfielder for the St. Mary's University Huskies soccer team. She was competitive, strategic, and understood teamwork at a high level. Those skills translated directly into how she runs the business side of things. She also studied kinesiology alongside her commerce degree, which means she understands body mechanics and movement. It's a weird combination of skills, but it makes sense when you see her working in the shop. She's not afraid to get her hands dirty, and she understands the physical demands of the work. According to multiple sources, she's involved in the actual builds when needed, jumping in to help wherever the team needs her. But her real value shows up in the parts viewers don't see. She's managing budgets for custom builds that can spiral out of control if someone's not watching the numbers. She's handling logistics, making sure parts arrive when they need to, coordinating schedules, dealing with clients. She's the one keeping everything organized while Chad's creativity runs wild. And honestly, without someone like her managing the operational side, the whole thing would fall apart. Chad's brilliant, but he's an artist. Artists need structure, and Jolene provides that. She's not just along for the ride, she's the one making sure the ride actually stays on track and doesn't crash into a financial disaster. On August 12, 2017, Chad and Jolene got engaged. She posted pictures of the ring, fans congratulated them, and everyone assumed a wedding was coming soon. That was over 8 years ago. As of now, in late 2025, they still haven't gotten married, and nobody's really talking about why. Jolene's mentioned in interviews that the shop has been too busy, that between managing the business and filming the show, there just hasn't been time to plan a wedding. She even said she wanted the Bugatti replica to be their wedding car, and they needed to finish it first. Those are reasonable explanations on the surface. But when an engagement lasts this long without a wedding date, people start wondering what's really going on. Some fans speculate they're waiting for the perfect moment to film it for the show. Others think maybe the relationship works better as a business partnership than a traditional marriage, and they're just not in a rush to make it official. There are even whispers that maybe things aren't as perfect as they appear on camera, though there's no real evidence of problems between them. The truth is, we don't know, and that's kind of the point. Jolene is extremely private about her personal life despite being on a reality show. She controls the narrative carefully, only sharing what she wants the public to see. The engagement, the lack of a wedding, her family background, her life outside the shop, all of it stays behind a wall she's built. And that wall is intentional. When Jolene joined Green Goblin Customs, it was a small operation in Canning, Nova Scotia. Chad was doing good work, but the business was local, limited, and frankly, going nowhere beyond the immediate area. Jolene looked at that situation and saw untapped potential everywhere. Her vision was completely different from Chad's. He wanted to build cool cars. She wanted to build an international brand with multiple six-figure revenue streams. She started by overhauling their entire social media presence. This was years before every business had a social media manager, and Jolene understood that online visibility was everything. She spent a full year, by her own admission, just promoting what Chad was doing, posting content, engaging with followers, building an audience from scratch. That groundwork paid off massively when the Bugatti build went viral and led to the Discovery deal. But the show was just one income stream. Jolene's been strategic about diversifying merchandise, sponsored content, appearances, licensing deals. She's turned Bad Chad Customs into a brand that makes money from multiple sources, not just custom builds. According to interviews, she's described herself as an up-and-coming automotive business mogul with no plans of slowing down. That's not someone who sees this as a side project. What's fascinating is how different her goals are from Chad's. He's the artist who wants creative freedom. She's the entrepreneur who wants financial success and business growth. Somehow, they've managed to balance those competing visions, and the result is a company that satisfies both. But make no mistake, the empire you're seeing was built by Jolene's strategy, not by accident. For someone on a reality television show, Jolene MacIntyre is remarkably private. We know she was born in 1989 in Centerville, Nova Scotia, making her around 36 years old now. But beyond that, almost nothing about her family, her parents, her childhood, or her life before Chad is publicly available. That's not an accident. That's a deliberate choice. In interviews, Jolene has made it clear she wants media attention focused on the business and the professional side of her life. She's not interested in being a celebrity in the traditional sense. She doesn't share personal drama, doesn't post about her feelings, doesn't give the public access to the parts of her life that don't serve the brand. It's smart, honestly. Reality TV stars who overshare often end up regretting it, but it also makes you wonder what she's protecting. Is there family drama she doesn't want public, past relationships or situations that could complicate the narrative? Or is she just a naturally private person who happens to be on TV and has learned to set boundaries? We don't know because she's never going to tell us. What we do know is that this level of control over her image is rare. Most people on reality shows eventually slip up, share too much, get caught in scandals. Jolene's been in the public eye since 2019 when Bad Chad Customs premiered, and she's maintained those boundaries the entire time. That takes discipline and self-awareness. It also suggests someone who's always thinking 3 steps ahead, protecting not just her privacy, but her brand value. So here's the real truth about Jolene MacIntyre. She's not the woman behind the man. She's the architect behind the empire. While everyone was focused on Chad's creative genius and his ability to turn junk into automotive art, Jolene was quietly building the business infrastructure that turned a talented mechanic into a television star with an international following. She saw potential where others saw a guy in a small-town shop. She built a social media strategy that led to a Discovery Channel deal. She manages the finances, the logistics, and the brand while maintaining total control over her personal narrative. And after all these years, most fans still don't realize just how much of Bad Chad Customs exists because of her vision. The question now is, what's her next move? Because if history tells us anything, Jolene MacIntyre is just getting started.